Welcome to Study Like a Scientist HSC questions, and remember that you have to read your HSC question. Make sure you highlight the verbs and understand the key words in the question and the purpose of the question. So you're not just talking about unrelated things and talking about what you want to talk about. Notice any plurals in the question and the number of marks available. So when you plan your response, you can respond with specific scientific vocabulary and plan the way that you're going to communicate, so the style and the length of your response. When there is stimulus, you must use it. Engage with the stimulus and be logical and lay out your answer to be easily marked. And when you've finished, check over your answer to make sure you haven't missed any of those key points. So we'll have a look at the 2023 paper question 33, and this is a stimulus question, so we're going to need to make sure that we use the stimulus, we actually engage with it and we use it to inform our answer. So this stimulus is the mechanisms of reproduction for both humans and generalized fungi. That's what they're showing. So we've got humans here, and we've got generalized fungi here. And don't worry if you haven't studied generalized fungi, all the information you need is here, and you're going to apply your biological understanding to it. So you'll notice that the stimuli have arrows. You've got meiosis on an arrow here going from the human male to sperm. You've got numbers like 2n and single n, so those are diploid and haploid notations. You've got meiosis here from the female making an egg, which has got half the number of chromosomes, and they come together and they fertilize and make a zygote. So if you want to grow the zygote into a male or a female, we're looking at mitosis. And then we have similar words down here. We've got growth by mitosis, and we've also got spore formation, or the movement of 2n to 1n, so diploid to haploid by meiosis. So you can already see that because it's reproduction, we're making more of the same, but it's through slightly different processes. And the question wants you to describe, and here's what's important, you're reading the question, similarities and differences. So notice the plurals. You're going to need to have more than one similarity, and you're going to need more than one difference, and you're going to need both of those in your response. Okay, so that's really important. So let's have a look at the marking criteria. So it's 4 marks in total, and that makes sense, because if you had 2 similarities and 2 differences, that will give you 4 marks. But there is a slight catch, because it says interprets the stimulus. Okay, so you've got to actually not just say the stimulus, but take information and add your own understanding to that stimulus. So that would be something like, if it's talking about meiosis, you don't just say meiosis is happening. You would say that meiosis is resulting in the formation of a haploid sperm or a haploid spore. So you would actually introduce extra words that are relevant to the process. So let's have a look. Apply the stimulus and this marking criteria to a student's response. So here is a student's response. Have a quick read of it, pause this video and decide how many marks it is worthy of. And hopefully what you've seen is what I just mentioned about the interpret. This person has plenty of similarities and plenty of differences, and what's good about their differences is that they've said things, they've actually put the 2 together. One has spores whilst the other has egg and sperm. So they've actually linked the 2 differences together. But there's no additional information. All of this information came from the diagrams. So they haven't sort of said, and meiosis results in, or and mitosis results in growth. I would also like to see, when it's a similarity and a difference question, the use of a T table. So you'd have similarities above the line and then you would have your differences below the line. This is called a T table because it looks like a capital T. So similarities and then differences, and you'd have your fungi on one side and your human on the other side. So a T table can be a very helpful way to organise a response in a question like this. So using that format, try it for yourself. So pause the video and give it a go.